listening to the In Between the Lines podcast with Shamar and Jay. Nothing is out of bounds.
What?
Yo, it's the In Between the Lines podcast. I'm Shamar. That's Jay. You are the Pod Squad. Since you're here, make sure you like and subscribe. Jay,
People,
what's going on?
my bro, another week down. Good day. And, but this weather is confusing. I ain't gonna lie. It's sunny as shit out there, but breezy as hell. This that fucking chapstick weather when you're dark skinned. You know what I'm saying? Like, you good. Me, though, I got to pause. You know what I'm
I
saying?
still gotta put chapstick on my skin too, man.
That
It's
shit
just kinda,
like Chris Breezy out there, my God.
yeah, definitely. They're definitely weird out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Let
it
that
ain't
weather
nothing
break,
new,
man. It's time.
What's new on your mind?
Man, let's get into it, man. We ain't gonna waste no time. People, we got one for you. This just blew my fucking mind. Jadakiss had a sit down with Joe Budden on his podcast with his father. Jadakiss and his dad up there being interviewed by Joe Budden, which was a cool conversation, a good interview. But it was some points that was made, and it was a little backlash and some comments after the recording on, how Jadakiss grew up. Jadakiss grew up in a two-parent household, went to private school, but he lived in the hood.
Yeah.
Why is that a problem? And here's the perception. The people have a problem with it because his messaging when it comes to rap. Jadakiss always got them hard street bars. But the argument now was like, are they legit because you grew up in a two-parent household, you went to private school, and you had a good life. So when you talking about the grind and being in the streets and selling dope, this, that, and the third, and Yonkers and all that, man, to come to find out 3, 4, you might as well say 25 years later, man. Fair to say for Jadakiss' career.
Yeah.
The locks, you know what I'm saying? That you had a very solid upbringing. So again, to be ridiculed right now for having that, man, and then having the success that you had making hardcore music, man, let's be honest. In my opinion, it's music, and of course it's entertainment. But I don't think you can criticize this brother, Jadakiss, for growing up in a two-parent household. Now I want to question his bars on how hard his upbringing is and how much dope he was slinging or anything from that aspect. Because it's still entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I definitely know. I understand the point you're trying to make.
And let me make this point real fast before you chime in. Ice Cube basically had the same upbringing. And don't get me wrong, Ice Cube was criticized for going to a charter school, a private school, whatever, and growing up in a two-parent household as well. Dr. Dre just happened to be, his homie, and I forgot who was his cousin, actually. Was Dre's cousin? Yeah, Dre was his cousin. So, listen, them stories almost,
Dre and Ice Cube related?
His cousins. And at least in NWA, that's what I remember. That's how he ended up hanging around them. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me.
I thought Dre and Warren G is the cousins.
No, Dre and Warren G is brothers. They just got different dads or different moms, one and the other.
Okay.
Yeah, but Ice Cube is related to one of the NWA members. I believe is Dre as his cousin. But again, to be ridiculed for growing up in a solid household and given opportunity through school from your parents, and your parents still live in the trenches. So my assumption is, even though he rapping about this, I'm not gonna say he living it like that to that extent. But damn, he's around it. He's a product of his environment. So for Jadakiss to get ridiculed and questioned on his bars now, bro, that's just hilarious to me, bro.
Well,
I don't get it.
I mean, I get it, and I get it because I've told you this before.
What's that?
Our culture is ass backwards.
Oh man, here we go.
It is. Our culture is ass backwards, and this is just another point to prove it.
Oh man,
we
gave him ammunition. I'm sorry, people.
we criticize you in school. The kids criticize the smart kids in school. It's not cool to be smart. You criticize if you got two-parent households. You criticize if you don't make hard music. You criticize for everything positive you do in your life. You only criticize if you do bad. You only not criticize if you do bad shit in your life.
No,
and
I agree. That's popularity. You gain popularity doing bad shit. You that guy now because you killed this dude or you did that or you sold this much dope.
No,
that part
you're never celebrated for doing good stuff.
Yes, you are.
And where?
You always, bro.
No,
you're not always, but you do get acknowledgement.
You're not celebrated in our culture until you've made it big and did something big. Like growing up in school, you're not outside of your family and whatever the teacher did. You are looked at as either a nerd, corny, whack if you're smart or doing right. If you're selling drugs, you're cool. I want to be like you. Blah blah blah. If you don't do the dumb stuff, you know what I mean. You're square.
Well, no, let me chime in real fast. This is how I grew up. If you was one of the good kids that went to school, got good grades, never got in trouble.
He was corny.
No, hold on. Yeah, I wouldn't say he was corny. No, I'm talking about how I grew up. I'm gonna keep it a bean. This is how I grew up. It was like this. When you came through or walked through the, the block, the hood, whatever, it was like this. He cool. He don't really get into nothing. He go to school. He do his thing. It wasn't so much a criticism or him being called a nerd. It was just the fact, like, ain't no reason to fuck with that nigga or bother him because he don't pay us no mind. He don't bring issues. He ain't got nothing going on. And I'm not gonna say he ain't cool. He ain't popular.
You ain't cool.
He ain't popular.
You ain't try to hang with him. You ain't try to do what he do.
Right.
He was corny. Like, stop trying to sugarcoat it, bro. I know you don't, because you don't want to attest to what I'm saying. But
it was one of them like he high.
What I'm saying is what I'm saying. Will Smith.
Oh man, you gonna bring Will into this?
I'm just saying. Will Smith is considered what? He was considered not corny, all that corny. Even though he made good music, it could rap his ass off.
Yeah, that's
you know
facts.
What I mean?
That's facts.
Especially the first album, you know what I mean? But as the storyline got stale, he's a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, blah, 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 da, da, da. You don't associate the hood with Will Smith. Even though you associate with...
Ain't that America?
No, that's our culture.
Oh, no, that's not best. That's not that. No, you're not picking that. Hold on.
America doesn't criticize you. America criticizes you for doing bad. America criticizes you for doing
no. Here's why I can't agree with that. First of all, this country is the most violent country, like I've always said. But at the same time, too, we celebrate mob movies. Come on, man. We love them.
Oh, no, you celebrate mob movies, but also in the other communities, they celebrate doing good in school. They celebrate you not getting in trouble. They celebrate those things.
What? Give me an example, Mark, because I ain't buying that right there. Well, what? Give me an example.
Good job on getting A's. Make sure you go ahead and get A's. Oh, I want to be with him like that. You might have some bullies in there in other cultures.
Man, it's the same. It ain't that.
It ain't the same.
It ain't to the extent of our culture, that American culture. Yeah, bro, we just different. But I ain't gonna lie, for our culture, there's no gray area. You even got it.
Well, you don't.
Well, you don't.
Yeah.
That's how it is in our culture. Don't get me mad at that though. But honestly, and that's because we always behind the 8 ball, Bo. Keep it a bean. I'm not gonna put that all on us, bro. It's always gonna be hard with us. We just gotta keep our head down and work. But at the same time too, and we first ones to get judged. Keep it a bean. Am I right?
We judge ourselves. That's why.
No, other cultures judge us.
No, bro. Your first judgment didn't come from outside the hood. It came from inside your hood.
That is correct.
Okay, so we the first to judge.
Bro, everywhere around, I was surrounded by the hood. Where else was I going?
So that's my point. We're the first one to judge. You just get mad when other people judge us.
Absolutely, because it ain't their place. They don't understand the struggle.
Right.
Yeah, I'm staying with my people on this.
I'm with them too, but I just call a spade a spade.
Okay. Well, listen, you know how it go for us.
But as far as Jadakiss, I don't take no. He's probably the best rapper of our era.
No, I see how you went too far. Now, if you sit there and say
he is the best rapper of our era,
I would agree with you if you sit there and say Jadakiss, which I'm definitely going to applaud his career. I will say is probably one of our top 10 rappers ever because his music is so consistent. And again, that's part of the argument. He talking that hard street shit, and at the same time too, come to find out, he had opportunities. You know?
Yeah, but I say, and this is why I say he's the best rapper ever, because he's been doing it for 25 years. His music still comes out and it's still relevant. Like, you can still listen to it. Like, he drops music yearly. Like, he's not in the cut. He's not putting on other people's albums. Like, he's still producing at a high level for 20 some years straight. So with that said, you have to give him probably the greatest rapper of all time.
Oh no, you went too far. You going too far.
He's definitely the greatest rapper of all time. He can actually he's made crossover hits.
Yes.
He's made street hits.
Yes. Mixtape phenomenon.
Yes. So, and he's been doing it for 25 years.
But we can't say best ever. Come on, that's a lie.
And his lyricism is second to none.
I don't have an argument. You just lose me at best of all time.
I know, because you like Jay-Z.
Because again, I know right now if Jay-Z came out, he'll top that.
But that's the thing. If
he has the same longevity.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, wait, time out for a second. Jay-Z do have the longevity.
He does not. He drops an album every couple years.
Bro, it's not even a couple years.
It's probably 5 years.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, Jadakiss is still in the mix at 25 years in.
Bro, that's fine. That's cool. But at the end of the day, you have to have something to rap about. So whether it's Jadakiss, and let me say this, Jadakiss outside. So he got something to rap about. He outside. He in the trenches today. But no. Bro, that's where your material coming from. Stories. But in saying, as a rapper anyway, Jay-Z, right now, going back to Jay-Z, I'm just going to touch this real fast because, that's big homie. Oh, take it easy. I got to address this. If he wanted to drop right now, he could. Because I know he has enough content. The reality is this. Timing is everything. And I will say this. He ain't retired and he ain't going nowhere. But I do know this. He's not pressed to put out music. For what? The music, hold on. The music right now, the industry, it ain't good. It ain't nothing great. So hold on. So with everything that's going on in his personal life, music would never be a precedent again. or something he's in a rush to do. But I do promise you this: if he do come out with something, it's going to mean something, and he put it out for a reason because there's a message behind that shit. He's always done that. Facts,
bro. His last album was 2017.
I know that. So if you understand my point again, and even if you go to the Gayle King interview, which we touched this before, he don't want to just make music. He want to make something that's important. So that's irrelevant.
So we're saying that's just like saying Rakim is the greatest ever.
No, I ain't saying you.
Why not? Because he can still put out music and mean something.
You're going too far. Mean something to who? Let's be honest. Rakim, no disrespect to Rakim in saying that, and I don't want to digress too much, but because it's about Kiss right now. But let's be honest. Like you said, call a spade a spade. Rakim impact on the culture is not bigger than Jay-Z. So here's the point.
It's not.
So here's the point. Rakim can put out an album right now. It's not going to get the same buzz of anticipation as Jay-Z because the impact of the culture that Jay-Z, the impact that Jay-Z has on the culture, because we know his shit is not just music, it's food. There's a message. There's a lesson. And there's a real blueprint on how to get to the next level, which he can always rap about because he's been there and done that. And he's a living testament on you can make it. You can be the best at what you do.
Yeah, I mean, you can be the best at it, do, but again, to me, you have to make music to be considered the best. Like you in the music industry, you have to make music to consider to be the best, no matter what. Like even though we consider Michael Jackson the greatest of all time, he was still making music till he died. You know what I mean? He was about to make another music until he died. He was still considered the king of pop, but he wasn't. He wasn't considered the greatest R&B artist of all time.
Let me say this: this will kill your whole argument. If I had 10 people in here who was into rap music, they would say, I would say probably 5 or 6 of them people would say B.I.G. is the greatest rapper of all time. And the reason why they gonna say that because how he made his music.
Yeah.
But understand this, the man only made 2 albums. He ain't make an album in 35 years now, but he's still considered the best of all time.
Correct.
So that kills your point. You don't have to be making music. It's the quality of work, Mark.
And Jadakiss is the quality of work for a longer time.
Hold on, for any artist. But again, even if you want to say Jadakiss for you is the greatest rapper of all time, understand this. And I'm gonna make the point that you just made about a preacher. You have to show your worth to the people to make them buy in, to make them want to contribute, to make them want to follow. No disrespect to Jadakiss. Jadakiss is putting out music now because clearly the passion's still there, but understand this too. When you come to the image of being that best rapper, Jay-Z will be that because his net worth, what he have accomplished. We ain't even want to talk about every album he puts out goes #1. 24 Grammys, bro. It's not the impact, and it's going to hit way different than Jadakiss. Hold on, and that's not a slight to Kiss. The reality is this. Going back to what you said about the preacher. This is what I'm showing the people, that I am him. Hov able to say that.
He's able to say that because yes, at the peak of his career, he hit such a plateau. But I can tell you, those same 10 people you get in here right now, and you say, who would you rather, if you're a true hip-hop artist, who would you rather hear right now? A whole album from Jadakiss or a whole album from Jay-Z? I bet you they'll say Jay-Z.
That's why I'm going to disagree.
I mean, I bet they'll say the Jadakiss, not Jay-Z.
And that's why I'm going to disagree. And I'm going to piggyback on the point you just made. Jay-Z ain't make an album since when?
2017.
So understand this. Kiss make how much music?
He makes a good amount of music every year.
So let's say this. First of all, ain't no messaging in Jadakiss music. There's no messaging. It's all street talk.
You're putting your...
I'm making a point. Here's the point. Yeah, Jadakiss can put out all the music he wants, but this is what I mean by impact, and this is the point I'm making. Jay-Z talking about something. He's talking about forward movement in life for the individual. He's talking about the trenches of the street, selling this much dope and doing this and that. Hov graduated from that. So in saying that, the point that I'm making to you that people will much rather hear Jay-Z, not only because he ain't been out in a long time, they know when he come out, the message is on point. Facts.
That's not facts. That is not facts. People who are still in the industry that's not attainable that will rather hear Jadakiss because he was still more relatable to him, to them than he did Jay-Z. Now, Jay-Z is somewhere you want to inspire to.
That's relatability.
That's not related. That's just inspiration.
You're coming from nothing, just like
it's not relatability though, bro. That's not related. Jay-Z has nothing relatable between me and you as far as his success. Nothing. That's not relatable.
Okay.
Jadakiss still produces that everyday guy type persona. Like it don't seem like
everyday street life. At some
Whatever.
point,
No, growing up, like he still looks like an adult still rapping who still got it. Like you can still see Jadakiss and like, oh, he's not an old rapper. You just still relate to how he looked, to how he moved. He's not moving like a millionaire. He's still moving like a regular guy. Like he still got regular guy look, regular guy thing. He still has the everyday regular black man look.
are you saying hoes don't got it no more?
No, Hov is Basquiat. He's basically turned into Basquiat.
Excuse me, what that got to do with his rapping ability? Because that's
No,
that's what
that's
I'm
part of
asking.
your relatability. Like where you at and what you can't relate to that. You can't relate to
Bro.
Jay-Z. You can't relate to Will Smith. You can't relate to the Drake. You can't relate to none of them how they're living now. They're not relatable. You might can relate from where they came from, but if you look at them now, no, they're not relatable. Jadakiss doesn't give off the persona of an unattainable life. He looks like a guy that's still relatable.
Okay, so now I'm gonna kill your argument again. That's why he getting the backlash right now. Here's why. Kid's been in the game 25, 30 years, still rapping about street life. Pushing that to the kids. Now, I don't really want to say pushing it to the kids. The kids is making the choice to listen to that if they're rocking with Jadakiss, which is cool. That's fine. Cool. It's music. It's entertainment. But Jadakiss has a whole family.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as he's rapping about, yeah, go do this, sell that, he ain't giving that same message to his son because he'll be putting his son in harm's way. So when I'm talking about relatability, what Jadakiss is rapping about is fucking trouble for the young man. And the common ground is Jadakiss has a son in college. So what Jadakiss is talking about as far as helping himself be relevant right now ain't helping the community.
I never said it
Oh,
was.
no, I'm just making a point when you're talking about relevancy and why he still is. But understand this too. Your messaging in the music for 25, 30 years that you have been in the game, this messaging, I know you don't even want for your own son. So let's just keep it a bean when it comes to that. And that's no knock on Kiss. Now let's cross the street to Hov. You take his last album. The name of that was 444, correct?
Yeah.
And did you hear that album?
Yes.
What you think the messaging was like in your opinion?
Fuck with me, you know I got it, all that stuff.
No, it was progression of black people, how to attain, how to own.
I'm just saying, you talking about that? Ain't that the album that had that?
That's not the album.
What album was that? What was the album with "Fuck with Me"? You
That
know
was
I got it.
Magnum Carter, that
Oh,
album.
that was Magnum Carter. Okay.
Yeah, the last album, 444, that's the one, the OJ story.
Okay.
He talked about the progression of himself, our culture, our race, what we should be doing, what we could be doing. And he made a point, since you mentioned Basquiat. He bought that Basquiat painting for $2 million.
Yeah.
And in a bar and a verse, he said, yeah, my daughter gonna have it. And about time I pass, it's worth $8 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's an investment.
Yes.
So when you talking about relatability,
That's not
hold
relatable.
on. If you dumb that down more, I don't give a freak if you got a car. If you want to sell it, bro, keep investing, keep turning it over. Give yourself an opportunity. Because you're only gonna get greater at it. But the point is that messaging is on point and it benefits the culture. So when it come back to Kiss, it's cool to be relevant. I applaud that in your career. You are a phenomenal rapper. I do not think you are the best ever. I will say you in the top 10 of all time. I give you that all day. And part of one of the greatest groups, hip-hop groups ever in the locks. But when it comes to 10 people sitting in the room that are truly into hip-hop right now because of Kiss messaging, people, in my opinion, who really appreciate the music and realize the impact of the music, they would much rather hear Jay-Z album. And not only because it's Jay-Z, because Jay-Z ain't make nothing in a long time. So the anticipation level will be crazy right now. I know I need it. I need to feel inspired and realize.
And I think that's
it's a
clouding
pinnacle I can reach
I
out
think
there.
that's clouding your judgment. No. I think that's clouding your judgment and because you want the food, because you feel as though the food and everything for your life is how it is. I think personally that most people don't feel like that. You just listen to music because you're not listening to music to be inspired or whatnot all the time. I think you're just looking at music to be impactful and to be good and to like, because you can go look at Pusha T. Pusha T doesn't have his sons doing that. Pusha T's sons going to school in private school. You look at Cardi B. Cardi B, she says she doesn't let her child listen to it. So all the rappers that are about anything about
Mixed
life
messaging.
don't have that. They just do what they need to do to sell. You know what I mean? You just do what you got to do to work. It's no different than me working maybe on a railroad line and not wanting my son to work on the railroad line or something like that. You might not want him to go down the same path you went to. Do it a better way. Be a lawyer or something, or be something else. It's just a different occupation. You know what I mean? You just got to do what you got to do to provide for your family. And like I said, to me personally, I would put Jadakiss above. Right now, I would put Jadakiss above Jay-Z as the greatest rapper, just because he's still relevant at 25 years and still putting music in. Now, does he have cultural impact of Jay? No, I agree with you there. Does he have the messaging, like you say, food for thought on all of his songs? No. Does he have food for thought on songs? Yes.
He has that ability, absolutely.
Yeah, and everything. So I just think, like I said, to me, it's that. But to each his own, man. And that's how it is.
Well, we agree to disagree.
Definitely.
All right.
Man.